Hare Krishna.
Krishna?
Jarada Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanacharya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtatarashtata Shishimad His Divine Grace Shila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Narada's Instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam, text number 29. Tasyaiva menuraktasya prashritasya hatainasa shadadanasya balasya dantasya nucharasya cha tasyaiva menuraktasya prashritasya hatainasaha shadadanasya balasya dantasya nucharasya cha tasyaiva menuraktasya Anastasya balasya tasya nucharasya cha tasyaiva menuraktasya tasya menusaha Danasya balasya Nantasya nucharasya cha. Okay, tasya his evam das me mine anuraktasya attached to them prashritasya obediently hata freed from enasaha sins shadadanasya of the faithful balasya of the boy dantasya subjugated anucharasya strictly following the instructions cha and translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the senses and I was strictly following them with body and mind. Purport. These are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated devotee. Such a candidate must always seek the association of pure devotees. One should not be misled by a pseudo-devotee. He himself must be plain and gentle to receive the instructions of such a pure devotee. A pure devotee is a completely surrendered soul unto the personality of Godhead. He knows the personality of Godhead as the supreme proprietor and all others as his servitors. And by the association of pure devotees only, one can get rid of all sins accumulated by mundane association. A neophyte devotee must faithfully serve the pure devotee, and he should be very much obedient and strictly follow the instructions. These are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the existing duration of life. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shimate Praladananda Swamiti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Vishesha Shnevadi Pashitya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada says in the first phrase of the purport, these are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated devotee. So he gives the formula. What does it take to become someone like Narada Muni? Maybe not on that level, but somewhere. Somehow similar. And at the end of the purport, he says, a neophyte devotee must faithfully serve the pure devotee, and he should be very much obedient and strictly follow the instructions. These are the signs of a devotee who is determined to achieve success even in the existing duration of life. So, in this life. It's quite simple. Srila Prabhupada doesn't make things very complicated. He says, you find a pure devotee, you get some instructions from him, and then you follow. That's it. Finished. I was reading through Srimad Bhagavatam, and I came across some similar text and some similar purport. It says, sons ought to render service to their father exactly to this extent. One should obey the commander of his father or spiritual master with due deference, saying, yes, sir. Like in the army. Sir, yes, sir. Give me 20 push-ups. Yes, sir. Simple. And Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, okay, this I'll skip. The son or disciple should accept the words of his spiritual master and father without hesitation. Whatever the father and the spiritual master order should be taken without argument. Yes. There should be no instance in which the disciple or the son says, this is not correct. I cannot carry it out. When he says that, he is fallen. So, very simple. You have a spiritual master, and whatever he says, you do. And if you start saying that you have your own ideas, yes, Gurudev, like sometimes devotees do that. They go to their spiritual master and they inform you, Gurudev, I'm going to do like this. No, it's not good. No, Gurudev, I will do like this and like this. I think you didn't understand. So, if you do like, then Srila Prabhupada says, when he says that, he is fallen. He's not really a disciple. So, very simple, but very, very hard to do somehow. So you can see what other qualifications does Narada Muni have. Not so much. He is Shudra, not very elevated from a material point of view. It's not even very clear who his father is, it's clear that he has a mother, but it's not very clear who the father is, which is not very elevated. So he's not coming from a highly elevated family. He is just a servant, and he happens to serve the right person. That's it. He's and that's actually the purpose of the whole Vedic culture. You have this Vedic culture, very complicated, and the point is, when you see a sadhu, you will treat him nicely. That's it. That's the biggest benefit of the Vedic culture. You see some sadhu, you're nice to him, you listen to him, he says, what should I do? And then you do what he tells you to do. That's it. Finish. And I was doing this study. I'm just joking. It's a half joke. During this marathon, you do this study. What does it take for someone to take a book? And I think I have met quite enough people that it can be considered a successful study. They have they think it's a study if they interview 100 people or something. Probably I met like 10,000 people or something. So it's an extensive study. And I was I like to be a bit, what does it take for someone to take a book? What's the difference? Why some people take books and why others don't take books? Of course, like also in the case of Narada Muni, you can see some fragment of his life or of one life, but you cannot see all the story, because obviously Narada Muni has other qualifications. But it's just sometimes Bhagavatam that just puts one part of his life to give an example, to stress a point. So I was really thinking, what's the difference? Why some people take books and some people don't take books? And one thing is, which is related, is some culture. So for example, in Vedic culture, you have the idea that there's always someone above you. There's always someone who will tell you what to do. He'll tell you, there's always someone who knows better what Krishna wants, and he will tell you what to do. Like Shudra is never independent. Shudras, they like to eat and sleep, and if you give them some Lakshmi, they will spend it for stupid things. So usually in Vedic culture, they don't give Lakshmi to the Shudras. And they give everything they need. They give food, but they don't give Lakshmi, because So they are taught, you, whatever your master tells you to do, you do. That's it. That's the education. And Vaishyas, they're usually good at doing business, but sometimes not always according to the principles. I met this Indian in Romania at some point. He was doing some business. He was favorable. He was giving donations sometimes. And he was vegetarian. He came from a cultured family. And he had some business also there. One of his businesses was that he had a restaurant. Not vegetarian restaurant. And I wasn't so close to him to ask him, how does this work? That you should be vegetarian, everything. And you have this restaurant where you don't want to eat meat to not accumulate karma, and you have this restaurant where you're the owner, where you sell lots of meat. So how does this work? So sometimes Vaishya do things like this. They make business, but not really according to the principles. If it's good for business, it's good. And sometimes Kshatriyas also, they organize things. Kshatriyas are usually more principled. They are like more, they have principles. But sometimes they have to get things done. And sometimes they make some decisions that you're just looking like, wow, really? And of course, Kshatriyas can get proud. Like you have King Vena, who is doesn't have exactly the proper attitude towards the Brahmanas. He's like, you don't worship Krishna anymore, now you worship me. So the Brahmanas who are controlling the Kshatriyas are like, okay, Hare Krishna, see you soon. You're dead, bang, bang. So the point, and even Brahmanas, they have some authorities. There's other Brahmanas. So the point is that everyone has some authority. That's the purpose. That's the whole point of Vedic culture. So in a Vedic culture, if someone in dhoti comes you see some Brahmana or some Vaishnava comes to you, then you have to be submissive, respectful, and whatever he tells you to do, you're like, yes, sir. Finish. But unfortunately, the modern culture, there's not so much education. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that in Kali Yuga people are born as Shudras, and by modern education they become less than animals, which is something that you can observe. It's very simple to check this affirmation by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You go in a dhoti, you take a dhoti or sari or something, you put a tilak, and you go on Chopova and say, hello. And if they would have some culture, they would stop, no? They said, yes, sir. And then they will ask you, how can I serve you? And then you say, please take this book and open your wallet, give everything you have in your wallet. And then that's it. Finish, no? So, is that happening? Not really, especially on Chopova, because people are not taught how to be very submissive. So they are very advanced. And if you go to smaller cities, also people are a bit more submissive, more, they have a bit of culture. Some do, some don't. And actually, you can also even see the difference between the smaller cities and the villages. I usually, when I go, I find where the bus station is, and around probably between 12 and 2 o'clock, it's packed, the bus station, because all the high school people, they go home. So it's packed. It's full of young people there. And you can see the difference even between the young people who are raised in villages and the young people who are like locals, you know, in the city boys. You know, the city boys they already know some gestures. You come to them, they're like, they already know some of the tattva, some of the city tattva, and the village sometimes they don't know. You know, sometimes they're like, oh no, you know. I was like shocked. Some days ago, I went to Škofja Loka, and this young boy was going, and I was like too lazy. I don't like to run after people, so I was like saying, "Oh, hello," from the distance, and he stops, and he comes to me. You know, like I was like, what? Really? What's wrong with this boy? He wasn't educated, you know, like very, very cultured. So he came to me, yes, how can I serve you? Not exactly with these words, but like in this submissive mood, you know, like, yes, yeah, oh yes, okay, take this book, okay, can you help with the donation? Yeah, let's see what I have. Gave everything he had. Some coins, of course, you know, like these young people, they don't have, but just a difference of culture, you know, like, I met this girl in Koper. I made the picture. Uddhava Mitra didn't like her picture. She had half of the hair painted in one color, half of the hair painted in another color, you know, and this kind of things. I just saw her, and there was no one else, so I said, hey, hi, you know. And she got a book. She was searching in her wallet. She gave like 3-4 euros. Not bad for a young person. And she was excusing herself. Oh, you know, I'm sorry. You know, that's all I have. I cannot give you more. I would really like to give you more. You know, some culture. So she got a Bhagavad Gita also. And that's the point. There's a difference in culture. And actually, she was not from Koper. She was from some village around, you know. So there's a difference in culture, you know, like, and also I was one day for a few hours. I was in Italy, in Gorizia. In Italy, it's the same, you know. The young people are a bit spoiled, you know, like, excuse me, you know, like, I'm Italian, high class. All right. So, and sometimes even Indians, you know, Indian culture, sometimes there's some remnants of culture, you know, like you say hi, and they're like, okay, he wears a dhoti, so I have to stop. All right. And then most of the time they politely tell you, yes, Bhagavad Gita, I already have. Yes. And then I was joking with some Indians yesterday. They said, but you have in every room, including the toilet. He was looking at me, no. How can you say something like this? How can you put a Bhagavad Gita in a toilet? Yeah, come on. Oh, don't even joke with this. So they had some culture. There's some culture, but sometimes, you know, like it's not exactly what Srila Prabhupada says that is a yes, sir. So the point is that there's a correlation. I mean, it's not one-to-one, but there's a correlation between the culture and how much people are interested in spiritual life, in Krishna consciousness, or at least how much they take book. Queen Kunti says, there's this famous verse from Queen Kunti. She says, "My Lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted." And she says, what are some disqualifications? There's one who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So sometimes you can see that high education, so-called education, respectable parentage, great opulence, bodily beauty, they can be a disqualification. You can see, you go, they look at this guy in a suit, and this guy in a bed sheet tries to stop him. He's like, come on. And the more they are so-called educated, the less possible is to give them some books. Sometimes it's also like that. There are exceptions, but that's the usual trend. And also, when they associate with the opposite sex, you see these couples. You try to stop these couples, especially young couples. I like to deal with young people. I don't know. You can see when there's a new couple, and men are really stupid in the association of women. It's very simple. It's that simple. In other terms, they say you talk about the butter and the fire, and the butter melts in close vicinity of the fire. But men are stupid. When they are too close to women, they are stupid. Finish, They just they don't have too elevated thoughts. So offering a book to a man who is found the love of his life is, it's a waste of time, unless she's there and she's really interested, like if she's interested, then you can somehow, if you're really lucky and she's interested, then he has to give a good donation to impress her, like. I saw it's just a few times, you can see, that they have this couple, and she's like interested and she likes the books, and he has to give a donation because he's the man. And then he's looking in his wallet, and he wouldn't really give something, but he has to impress her. So, anyway, so he gives a good donation. Okay. So anyway, the point is that usually this kind of modern education and association of opposite sex, they usually spoil people. It's usually like the sons of Kuvera. Sons of Kuvera were there, rich guys, well off, enjoying with the girls. Narada Muni passes by, and they are like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Narada Muni. We're here enjoying with the girls. So, anyway, some reactions are there. So the point is that culture is quite conducive for taking a book. Real culture, I mean, not modern education. This culture, which is still there to some degree in traditional Christian families or something, they have some sort of culture. Oh, submissive, yes, sir. Yeah, how can I help? So it's good for us. This is the conclusion of this week. That it's good to have some culture. It's good to implement this culture. We should introduce alternative education, like real education. We should, Srila Prabhupada wanted farms, Srila Prabhupada wanted gurukuls, Srila Prabhupada wanted temples, and Srila Prabhupada wanted us to follow the Vedic culture to some degree. Because, as it's described in the Shastra, it's conducive to spiritual life. And as you can see practically, it is, You can see that people who... And sometimes we can say, yeah, but we are doing a lot. How much we are doing, Prabhu, how many books we distributed since the 90s. 500,000 books. Every family has a book. But yes. But if you compare, you have these young people, they go 40 hours per week to school. And when they get home, they say, you offer them a book, and they say, I don't have time because I have to study for school, I have to study. So they go to school, and when they get home, They have some homework to do. They have to study. They have to do this. They have to do this. So they spent like 40 hours per week being educated. More and more educated. And then you think, compared to this, you think, but they met a Hare Krishna once. They stopped and they talked to a Hare Krishna for 5 minutes. We're doing good, no? And they even got a book. Wow. Maybe they even read the book. I met once this boy. He was. He said that I had a book. I got a book last year, and I was like, "How did you like the book?" And he said, "Well, I don't remember much." I mean, we read. I myself read. Like I read Prabhupada's books, and I read. I mean, they're nice. They're really nice, and I remember something. But if you ask me, what was this about? It was Bhagavatam. What else did it say? Something with Kapila, Dev, some Sankhya, some strange ideas. You don't remember much. So you have to figure out that also these young people, these people who read these books, they don't remember so much. So it's not that we are doing so much and then we can expect they get a book, they put it somewhere on the shelf, they read 10 pages, and their life is transformed. Sometimes it is. But if we think that we did enough, like I met this boy in Aidoshchina, and I showed him a issue. I said, "Yeah, this book. I read. I don't know when he got it, but a few days ago I opened it and I read a few pages, and then I started to. Then I was like in this phase that I had this addiction and this." And I read this book and I realized I don't need to be addicted. I don't have to be addicted. So he stopped, I don't know, some nicotine, some things, like this. So he just stopped, like, yeah, no, I don't need. And then I showed him a Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, that's nice, so nice. I can have it. Wow, that's so nice. Whoa, these are good books. They are really nice books. So anyway, the point is, it's not that something doesn't happen. But the point is that modern education is doing a lot. And people are reading a lot of books. People are getting educated a lot in different directions. And we should also try to educate ourselves and try to educate others. And I mean, we can always do more, always hear that we did too much, like. And also, you can always, if they have the books, you can have Harinams, you can have Prasadam. You can see, like I went to Gorizia, and in Gorizia there was probably practically never a Harinam in Gorizia. And you can see people, they look at, you go there in a dhoti, they look at some really strange guy. So I have no idea what's going on. They didn't get, there was no Harinams, there's no Prasadam, so they didn't get purified. So anyway, that was the point, that culture is really conducive to spiritual life for us and for others, and that's why I like to distribute in smaller cities, because there's some culture left. And we should do our best to introduce culture in our temples and in the society. Okay, we stop here. If there are some questions, comments, concerns. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Charinamrita